Hi everyone, and welcome back to Extra Roly. Now, hello Calum.
Hello.
How are you doing?
I live here now.
You live? Oh, don't
I've moved back in.
Don't scare me like that. I don't want you to. No, they'll get too excited. They'll be like,
Yeah,
you've probably caused a few of them then to have a bit of heart palpitations, a little flutter. He couldn't stay away. He was like, Riley, I just miss you so much. Yeah, do it. I confessed his dying love for me.
Yeah, I don't actually live here. I told a lie.
No. First of all, I just cursed Calum with main character syndrome on my main YouTube channel, which is coming out after this video. So how did you feel about that?
That was so upsetting.
So upsetting. He's never done main character syndrome before.
So upsetting.
I loved it though. It was exciting. I love doing main character syndrome. There's not, like, maybe there is a point to this video, but of course, when I normally have Calum over my house, by the way, if you're new and you don't know who we are, my name is Roly. This is Calum. We lived together for 10 years, and 1 year ago, basically 1 year ago, almost today, we went separate ways because we had a huge falling out.
No, we didn't. Telling lies.
No, so just as life went, after 10 years, you know, our life had gone slightly different. I know there were some people who thought there were drama. There was literally no drama. We love and adore each other still so much, and he's still my best friend. But yeah, well, that one person who was like, I can't believe he just abandoned Roly to live all on his own, and like your rent, he won't be able to afford anything.
It's like, you really think like that I've just like abandoned, like as if I'm his carer anyway.
Yeah,
like,
exactly. Yeah, I'm a fully grown adult.
You could have abandoned me.
Yeah.
Like,
and I did. No, so essentially, yeah, if you know the situation, we lived together 10 years, and Calum has always wanted to be nomadic and sort of live around the world and travel for a full-time job and be like a travel influencer, travel journalist, and you have done it.
I've been living out of a backpack for a year and 2 months.
Which
3
is
months?
Bonkers.
A year and 3 months, yeah.
And for my side of it, I know obviously on my channel you know a bit more, but for my side of it, I really wanted to, you know, move out of London and get a place that's more affordable and just a little bit less sort of chaotic than what London was. Because after 10 years, you get your fix of the chaos. I never thought it would happen, but I was like, oh no, I've had my fix of this nonsense. So I moved to Brighton. But we kind of want to just like chat, say how what we've been up to in the past year. Obviously, give updates on how I've lived on my own now for a year and things I've learned. And obviously, you guys, I'm sure a lot of you are interested to see how Calum's sort of journey around the world has been so far. I mean, we'll start with you more so.
Oh yeah, let's talk about me.
How has it been? Like, just tell people what you've been up to for the past year.
It's been pretty insane. Like, my work has pulled me literally all over the world. I've been to 6 continents in the past year alone, including Antarctica. People always assume Antarctica is the one I haven't been to in the past year, but it's actually Africa. I have been to Africa in the past. I've been to Morocco and South Africa, but in the past year, I've not yet to make it back to Africa. And it's over 40 different countries in the space of 1 year. I've been to like over 80 different countries total, but in the space of the past year, I've been to over 40 different places, which is
That's more than I've been to in my whole life.
That is more than most people will do in their entire life.
Yeah.
But I think the thing that's like really crazy about this, like the amount of people who like follow me on my social media who assume that I'm really, really rich and really wealthy.
And you are.
And I earn enough money to survive. Like, I'm not claiming I'm like impoverished or anything like that. I earn enough money to survive. But like, it's certainly not the amount of money that I'm not rich by any stretch of the imagination. It costs me a lot less doing this and living this lifestyle and traveling than it did living in London.
I know why people think that though, and it's because they think that, so when regular people think of like, even me, think of doing what you're doing, they think of a holiday.
They think of a holiday, exactly.
And they think holidays are expensive because holidays are naturally expensive. But when it's your full-time career and your job and you don't have like an official address and you travel around, it's not, because you're not saying like, I'm going to book myself a 5-star hotel every week and I'm going to go to the Glitz and eat steak every day. Like, it's your life. The same way that like when you're in your house, your normal home, wherever you live, you don't have gourmet meals every day. You don't go and do events every day. Like, it's just not a normal thing you do. So when you're traveling as your full-time job, you just live like everyone else does, but you just stay in different places.
Yeah, and I'm usually in like an apartment type thing, like nothing flashy, like a typical apartment. It's not usually like a resort with like swimming pools and that kind of thing. Sometimes, occasionally, because like sometimes my job revolves around going to those places, but generally speaking, I'm in like a regular apartment. I go to the supermarket, I buy groceries, I eat out of convenience stores. And yes, I do eat out sometimes, but it's not like I'm on holiday. It's not like I'm going for fancy meals for every breakfast, lunch and dinner. It's just not like that.
Lobster every day.
And then also like my money goes a lot further. I'm traveling to a lot of places where it's a lot more affordable, especially, we lived in London for 10 years.
Yeah, we were used to London prices of everything.
I think last year London was named as the 3rd most expensive city on earth. So like pretty much everywhere I go feels like affordable by comparison. The only real places I go where it feels like kind of on par is like Australia felt really expensive, and like America feels about the same. Some places in America feel even more expensive, like places like Miami, because it's like tourist trap. Everything is so expensive there.
I know this is not necessarily to the point, but New York apartment buildings, like living in, like seeing real estate videos, and it's like $3,000 a month for like something this big, like this little tiny room or whatever. The rent price in New York, I am flabbergasted by the rent.
Insane. They get like a cupboard and things like. It's really not like nobody in New York has like a washing machine. Like it's really normal to go to the laundrette or laundromat they call it, don't they? Like everybody does that in New York.
Yeah.
Like you have to be like absolutely like millionaire rich if you want like a washing machine in your apartment, where like something like that is like for most people in the UK. Oh no, I bashed it.
It's fine.
For most people in the UK, like that is something that they would have. Like working class people, a lot of them will have a washing machine in their house.
Yeah.
Often not a dryer though.
I don't have a dryer.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, exactly. Often not a dryer, but like people tend to have washing machines.
Yeah.
I've spent an awful lot of time in Asia. There's a lot of really affordable countries. And the hill I will die on, I think you know what I'm going to say, is Japan. I've spent over 3 months in Japan over the past year, and it's really affordable there. There's this myth of Japan. My whole life, I never went to Japan because I thought it was really, really expensive and I couldn't afford it. I will give you that like the flights can be, if you don't book them at the right time, or like I use air miles and things like that to make my flights more affordable. But like if you don't book them at the right time and stuff, the flights to Japan can be expensive. But once you're there, it's surprisingly affordable, way more affordable than like going on like a European holiday.
Well, I think as well, as long as you avoid like obvious tourist sort of traps that most places have.
Traps, and like obviously like I've seen people complaining about the price of Japan, and then I've looked at their Japan trip and they've stayed in like 5-star hotels and gone out for like Wagyu omakase tasting meals every day, and it's like, well, obviously that's going to be expensive. Like
again, they're treating it as a holiday. They're not thinking about it as in like a.
But you can. I fully, wholeheartedly believe that you can do Japan as a holiday and get the absolute most out of it and not spend that much money. You can eat incredible food there for like really treating yourself and still only spend $5 on a meal.
Well, I think a lot of people though, when they go to these places, they don't think about going to like smaller businesses that might be cheaper. But a lot of the time, they actually have the better food. A lot better, and you get a much more authentic experience than going to these like more like tourist trappy type places. Yeah.
And even like the experiences and things you can do. Like if you're going to Tokyo, for instance, there's like Team Labs. Have you heard of that? It's like with all the like flashy light shows and stuff.
Yes.
There's 2 different places, Team Labs Borderless and Team Labs Planets. And they are cool, and I do recommend doing them. But like, it's not going to give you the most authentic Japanese experience. And a ticket for those is, I'm off the top of my head, is about $40. So like, that's quite a lot of money to go and do one of those things. But like, my opinion is, if you've only got like a few days in Japan, it's like there's so much free stuff you can do. Just like go walk around like Shinjuku Goen, which is like the big beautiful park there. It's beautiful. And like, that's not going to cost you barely anything to go walk around a park, like the cost of a coffee or whatever. Sure.
So other than that, like what other exciting things have you been doing? Like just it's like what some of your highlights of when you've been jet setting?
Well, so this year I started a project, which is my Year of Pride project, where I'm visiting different prides all over the world.
Yeah,
I'm telling you as if you don't know.
I have no idea.
So I'm doing 20 prides total in 2025 across all 7 continents. And this is like the biggest logistical challenge I've ever taken on. Because again, I'm doing this all on like quite a small budget, trying to get to all of these places all over the world. I've already done 7 prides. I've already been to, can I list them really quick? Canada, Australia, India, Finland, Miami, Thailand, and Malaysia are the 7 I've done. And I'm about to go to World Pride in Washington, DC, which will be number 8. So yeah, I've got a lot more prides to go. And
I couldn't fathom going to that many prides. It drive me insane.
It's it's quite the undertaking. But I'm writing a feature about each one for the one of the biggest newspaper in the UK, and like obviously like documenting it all over social media. If you're not following me on Instagram already,
Yeah, I'll put a link down below to go follow him so you can see his jet setting adventures.
press the button wherever it is.
There's no such thing as buttons now on the screen. Press the button. This is he said how long he's been out of the game for. He's now
I just said on the other video we just filmed, I'm so close to hitting. I've like less than 1,500 followers to 100,000. So like I'm trying to get there. How many people watch this video? 10 million.
I honestly get surprised by how many people actually watch the second channel, because like I'm like, why do people care? And I'm like, oh, people actually do care.
Would 1,500 people watch this video?
It'll get more than the 1,500.
If all of you follow me, then I'll hit 100k. So please, I beg of you.
You could be nasty and be like, actually, we're all gonna unfollow you.
No, don't unfollow me. I promise. I show really nice things all around the world.
It's actually really interesting. Like, I'm not just saying this because like you're my busy mate, but like genuinely, I get really excited when you post something new.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you. And like, I love like exploring like LGBT culture. Like that's what LGBT travel is, what I focus on. So I love like exploring the local scenes, and not just. I think people think that and they think, oh, you just go around all the gay bars. And it's like no. Like I really try to go in depth and actually make friends with the local community and understand what life is like for people there. So like that's what I like to focus on. So if that interests you, and I'll tell you more about how cheap Japan is.
He'll die on that hill.
Cheap, how affordable Japan is, yeah.
It's been interesting actually in the past 6 months. Well, 6 months, it's a year. So even I find it weird to think that it's been an entire year now. So if you tell me you're leaving,
if you tell me you're leaving.
Our little goodbye video on his Instagram, it was like just us hugging. Got over like what? How many views?
At least 2.5 million views.
Just literally hugging to a Troye Sivan song. Like it was
Shawn Mendes.
Oh, it was Shawn Mendes. All the same gays. But like I was just hugging at 10 million views.
And it was one of those things. Like I have made content before. I'm like, oh, this has a chance to do really well. Like this video might go viral. Like you think it sometimes.
Yeah.
With that was like, I basically posted that for you. Like the caption I wrote, you didn't see that before I posted it. Like that was a genuine like post I made for Roly. And
I hated it.
And I still to this day don't understand why so many, because like, we don't have 2.5 million followers.
No, yes.
It's not like, even if all of our followers watched it because they were invested in our like friendship for the past 10 years, that's still not 2.5 million people.
Yeah,
so this is a lot of strangers. And people were commenting like, oh, I need the full backstory now. And it's like, oh, it doesn't make any sense to me.
No idea. But so that was a fun little goodbye. But yeah, so I've now lived on my own for just over a year. And like there has been ups and downs. It's definitely been a learning curve because of course I relied on you a lot to do some of like the house things when it comes to like ringing people.
I was the man of the house.
To a certain degree.
Sometimes the woman.
Sometimes the woman.
More often than not, the woman.
Absolutely. Even with Luxeria downstairs, you had to be the woman. So no, like it's been interesting because I've had to like do everything myself. And like, this is very boring to talk about this, but like things like sorting out the electricity and the council tax and the gas and all these things that, you know, a lot of times, even people who have housemates sometimes don't even have to do it in like apartments because sometimes it's all included in like your bills and everything. Because like even when we lived in Canada Gardens before I moved here, some of it was already included. So all we had to really do ourselves was like, what was the council tax? That was anything.
Council tax was separate, internet was separate, but like everything else was like an all-inclusive.
All-inclusive.
So we only had one bill to pay for like rent, electric, gas, water.
Yeah, so having to do all that myself has been very like difficult, I think, because I've never really had to do it. And also I did a couple of days ago, I had like a man come out and like clean my like little, not driveway, but the path that goes out to my house, and like clean. I've got outside my house on the right side as like a decking. When I moved here, I was like, I don't want a fucking garden. I was like, I don't want a garden because it will just go like just overgrown. But I had like, because it's like wood, you've got to get someone to like treat the wood. So I had to like ring someone up and like, can you come over to my house and like do my decking? Like things like that. Having to get used to doing stuff like that on my own that I never had to do before. As like, it's strange to say as like, you know, I'm 35 in a couple of days, but like when you've never done it before, it's never just easy to do.
Because we were often in a situation where like obviously I lived on my own a lot and like lived with lots of different people. So I was used to doing a lot of these things. And then like we lived together, and it was because often I just knew how to do something, and it was often just easier for me to do it. So I would always do it. And it's almost like you didn't learn to do some of the things because like maybe I should, it would have felt so mean for me to be like, no, Roly, you do it. But like maybe I should have.
Yeah, I don't know what the right answer for that is. Like, because I might have been a bit like, what are you doing to me? Why are you doing it? I don't know. But I think it's really common actually for like a lot of millennials sometimes to be like, I hate the phones. I don't like talking on my phone because I hate ringing up people and asking like for help. I mean, with my friends, it's fine, but like actually talking to like strangers do things, I hate doing it. But I'm a lot more used to doing all this kind of stuff now. It's definitely helped, I think. I mean, obviously, I think being digital is a bit better as well because some things you can't do just emailing. But yeah, like even that. And I think we had a conversation yesterday. I was like, I'm not telling you this because I want to make you feel bad because it has absolutely nothing to do with you really when it comes to like, it's not your fault. But I made my last video a couple of videos ago when I talked about brain rot, and some people commented on the video. And I agreed that like a lot of the reasons why I think some of my attention span and my sort of I guess consumption of online media has increased so much is because I haven't had you living with me to like distract me. To like go, okay, should we go out and do this walk now? Should we go and watch this movie? And like that's the thing I've had to like try to get used to, doing a lot of stuff on my own that doesn't revolve around just sitting on my phone scrolling endlessly, because it's very difficult to, I don't think I realized how difficult it was to break that cycle when you do live on your own, because this is the first time ever in my entire life that I've lived on my own. And so I'm still early on my journey of living on my own, but like, I think it's very easy to be like, well, why don't you just stop scrolling or just put your phone down? But when you actually don't have anyone else here, it's actually very difficult, because when we lived together, at least once a day, Calum would say, let's go out for a walk, or why don't we go?
I'm very demanding. I'm like a dog. Is it walkies?
Absolutely.
Time for walkies.
Absolutely. Or like he'll go, there's a show that I really want to watch with you. Let's go watch that together. And yes, technically that's still staring at a screen, but it's not the same like watching documentaries or like TV series. It's not the same just scrolling on Instagram for ages with the endless brain rot. But you know, I think without that has definitely been a realization that like, oh, I need to set more boundaries for myself.
Yeah.
That's definitely been something I had to get used to. Obviously having the cats has been nice, but I still don't think
Mr.
Globbins and Miss Longitude.
Mr. Globbins.
It still doesn't fill that void that you need, I guess, that someone else would give you. I feel very lucky that like I've managed to make a few friends here in Brighton. I've become quite friendly with some other people that I've kind of known for a while. So like that has been really helpful. And if anything, weirdly, I've actually spent more time with my friends now that I live further away from most of them than I did when I lived in London.
I think sometimes like it reprioritizes like your friendships and like which ones you want to keep and which ones you want to invest in when you have to put the effort in.
Yeah.
And weirdly, sometimes when it's not there right on your doorstep, you end up seeing them more. Like obviously we live together, so we're a bad example, but I've actually seen you, I think like a fair amount, like as much as kind of most friends. Unless like best friends who see each other like every week, sure, but like most like casual friends, I feel like over the past year, I've actually seen you quite a fair bit. I've been to visit you. I've actually lost count. That's how many times.
Yeah.
Maybe 5 times?
Yeah, because you think as well, we didn't obviously, this is the first time we're making a video. We looked actually before this, it was 7 months ago our last video together was. Like, we've seen each other since then, we just don't film all the time. Depending on how much time we have together, like, I'd prefer not to film. I know some people get like, we want to see you again together, but obviously my time with Calum is the most important thing rather than making content. This time he's been here for like almost a week, so
we've been able to... longest visit. Like, usually I'm here for like 1 or 2 days.
Yeah.
So usually I'm always like, oh, I wish I could stay longer, but I'm always like between jobs. I'm always going somewhere. So it's like, I tend to like pass through the UK, like, if I'm like going from America to Asia, like I did earlier this year, I'm like, oh, I'll stop off and I'll see Roly for like 48 hours. But this time, I mean, this has been a disaster. Should I tell them about the disaster?
Yeah, so buckle up, bitches, because we had a nice ending because it was a silver lining that he was able to stay with me for a week, but why did this happen, Calum?
I know, I'm giving you the very short version, but basically I was in my Year of Pride project, I was in Thailand and I got robbed, and I had 2 passports. They stole one of my passports, which had my American visa in it. And I need that to like, I get a lot of work and stuff in America and have to like World Pride in America coming up. So I needed a new visa. So the US embassy in Malaysia basically ended up having my passport, and they said it would take like 3 to 5 days. It took 6 weeks. So I was trapped in Malaysia for 6 weeks and like couldn't leave. And they kept almost like teasing me, and they kept making it sound like, oh, the process is almost done. You're about to get your passport back. So I kept like trying to make plans to like, I was like, oh, mate, Roly, I think I'm going to get my passport. So like, are you free tomorrow? And you'd be like, yeah. So like by the end of it, you were like, okay, sure, you're coming.
Yeah. The thing is, it was about 4 times, I think, we started making a plan that you were going to come and stay over. And then like, suddenly we're like, oh, we haven't got it yet.
Haven't got it. But the kind of silver lining is I would have never been able to come here and stay here for a whole week.
Yeah.
Because I've supposed to have been all over the place with different jobs and stuff. Unfortunately, I've lost out on those jobs. But what ended up happening was I ended up with this like empty gap. I was supposed to go to Jamaica and I couldn't make it in time. So I was like, well, there's no point in going now because I'm not going to make it there in time for Pride.
Yeah.
So I was like, so now I've got a free week, which is why I've been here, which has been like, it's the longest time I've ever been to visit you here.
I feel like when you come, because I'm not the most, I guess, I mean, I like going out and doing things, but like I'm a very home person. So whenever like Calum comes to visit, I like almost like force him to like just stop for 2 seconds and go, do you know what? Now it's time to relax and do nothing. Yes. So we've been like, we played video games, made some videos, and we just like drunk tea and had biscuits. And we've obviously been around Brighton and done things like we went to the cinema and stuff. But like, I think it's a nice thing just to sort of,
I like to drink tea. I even said that to you. I was like, Roly, it was when I couldn't like leave the country. And I was like, Roly, I just want to come to Brighton and drink tea.
And we have. We've drunk lots of tea.
Lots of tea. I want one after this.
So Calum showed me this little tea shop that's in the Lanes in Brighton. Lanes, so if you don't know, if you're not in Brighton, the Lanes is kind of like, there's loads of like independent shops. It's where like all the fun sort of like quirky sort of, I guess,
there's the wig shop.
Yeah. There's also like fun outlet clothing stores, everything. It's very sort of indie and a bit sort of hippie, and there's loads of like murals as well from gays, and it's very, I guess,
it's very alternative, very trendy,
yeah,
kitschy.
But there's a tea shop there, and like it's not just like obviously being in the Lanes, like we're not just a tea shop, and they have like, oh god, like 100 different varieties of tea, from like the weirdest teas that we had. There's cherry cola bottle tea, jammy dodgers, to like more standard ones like Earl Grey, but like loads of different flavors, and I've bought an obscene
and seasonal ones. So we got some of the Easter ones when I was last here.
Oh yes, we got some Easter flavored ones. It was like chocolatey ones and things that had sort of more cinnamon and cream egg things. And this time there was jammy dodger. It was like tea, tea biscuit flavors and stuff.
Melted milks.
Yeah.
There were some other ones we didn't get, like ginger nuts, I think.
Yeah. So we've been doing that, which is nice. But yeah, we had some fun times together in the past like week, and it's been so nice to kind of have like a proper catch up that hasn't been rushed at all. So that's been fun, and I've enjoyed playing Fortnite with you, Gail.
I feel like I want to get to the juicy questions they will probably ask.
Okay.
I feel like the question they will ask is like,
have we had sex?
Have we had sex?
And the answer is yes.
It viscerally, yes, yes. I pounded that puss.
Oh dear.
Can you imagine me?
I am way more of a top than you.
I just like to cuddle.
And who's the FAGGOT?
That's me.
What's the pounding question?
I feel like they want to know, like, has our like friendship changed? Shall I answer first?
Yeah.
I think no. I think it's the same. Like, obviously there's a logistical change because we don't live together. But I think it's like the same. Like the group chat feels. We have a group chat with Luxaria.
Yeah.
The woman. We actually hate her. Can't stand her.
Bitch.
She's awful.
I'm glad she moved to Spain. She's away from us.
But like, it's kind of funny because like as we left, like Luxaria was our neighbour.
All of our contracts in our house all ended the exact same time. So we were like all saying goodbye to each other. And obviously she's now moved to Spain, which of course again is like another gap between us.
We're off and on, and we're usually in three different time zones.
Yeah.
3 different time zones even. But like that group chat feels the same.
Oh, we are non-stop talking all day, every day.
All day, every day.
Nonsense, literally nonsense.
Like 10-minute voice notes, like about every detail of our lives. I keep stopping myself swearing. I don't have to, do I?
No, I can just beep it out. It's fine.
Wig.
Oh yeah, that's worse than the N word. Like what?
Wig.
Yeah, well, I think you hit the nail totally on the CUNT. I feel like the only difference between us really is it's just slightly harder to see each other. Like other than that, even not even just in the group chat, we talk pretty much every day. I think it's weird if we go a day without saying something to each other.
I don't think I'm not actually sure that's ever happened.
No, I don't
I'm
think
not sure there's
ever
been a
has.
day in the past year where
I always said this, and I people, it's maybe a not cliche, but one of these things that I think a lot of people are kind of saying around COVID times, and I've said it to Calum multiple times, and I've said it on YouTube before, but I'll say it again, that like COVID, although obviously it was horrific, and I'm not downplaying anything that happened, I feel like it was a huge turning point in so many people's lives and friendships where we lived together and we were locked down together for like a year. We survived COVID with one or two arguments, and we didn't have to go separate ways. It didn't break our friendship. And like, if you can survive COVID with someone, they're clearly meant to be in your life. Yeah, so I didn't have, when the idea of him moving away and us not living together, in my mind, I never thought our friendship was suddenly different and everything was going to change. It was more so like, I don't know how it was sad, but I didn't think anything was going to happen.
No, me either. I just had this like weird knowledge that it would just kind of be the same but different.
Yeah.
And it is. It's literally the same. When I'm here, it's weird as well, because when I visit, like, I have obviously never lived in this house.
Yeah.
But like when I visit you, I weirdly almost feel like I live here.
Yeah.
Like I didn't say it earlier, but I actually caught myself saying something. I was like, I said something about like, oh, do we have this? As if it was like something in our house.
He was talking about him and the cats. I'm the outsider.
Yeah, and it's like, it's strange. It's almost like I slot in so easily here. It would be like, I don't think there's anybody else in the world that I could go visit and stay with. Like, I will just take myself off to my room.
Yeah,
like, if
yeah.
I've got to do something on my phone or send an email or something, I'll just like take myself off to my room.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think there's anyone else in the world that I would do that with.
Yeah.
I would be like, well, I'm a guest in their house, so I have to be present and I have to be. But I'm just like, I'm going to my room now.
Yeah, I mean, I always said to Calum, like, regardless of whatever happens in his life, like, no matter where I am, like, you will always have somewhere to stay. Like this, no matter where I think when you live for someone, when you live together for someone for so long, I think it's impossible to sort of be like, that would never, I'm not saying it would never happen again, because I don't think you'd necessarily live with me, but like, to be like, you can't just come and stay with me. Like, it feels so natural to be like, well, of course you can come stay. There's like, this is all, whenever you need a house or somewhere to stay, this is always your home. Like, you'll always have a home with me.
Can I give an exclusive? I want to give an exclusive.
Yeah.
Give an exclusive.
Yeah, what's it?
As if my life is like a big deal and we have to make like a whole press release. But no, I haven't spoken about this online at all, but I have been tentatively thinking about next year no longer being a nomad. So it will be 2 years. I'll have been a nomad for 2 years. And I always kind of had it in my head that I wanted to be a nomad for around 2 years. So I've started doing like a little bit of research. And I still don't know. I may continue to be a nomad for 5 years. I doubt it, but I could move back to the UK. There's so many options that might happen. But I've started doing like a bit of research at living in Asia. And I've got a few countries. I'm looking at different visas and things, but one of them is like potentially Japan. And like that really excites me about potentially going to, because like Roly's always wanted to visit Japan. We've wanted to do Japan together for so long. And each time we try and organize it.
So yeah, we were trying to go around Easter, but obviously because like I worked in retail before being self-employed, and I worked in there for 10 years. So like basically my entire adult life since leaving school, holidays have never really meant anything to me because I always had to work through all of them. And then becoming self-employed, obviously any day can be like a day off if you can, as long as you get the work done, you can do things. So like I completely forgot that it was Easter, and so did you.
Both did. I have no concept of anything anymore.
So like I even had like the cat sitter ready to come over, I had everything ready, and then we looked at flights and it was like £2,000, and I was like, why? And then
Easter.
It clicked. It's Easter holidays.
I'm booking last minute at Easter. Like
Yeah.
you could maybe get a good Easter deal if you booked well in advance, but we were looking at booking like.
And it's so annoying because we were like actually quite far down the process
We
of
were
like
ready,
and I was so annoyed. I mean, it's got to happen regardless, but yeah. So, I mean, Callum's always told me as well, even like years ago, that he planned to at some point live in Asia, that you wanted to live somewhere and you didn't know where, but like you knew. So like, again, this wasn't a shock to me or Luxaria. So yeah, I think, well, because that's the thing. When some people, when you told, sorry to hijack the conversation, when you originally said that you were leaving as well, I think a lot of people thought it was a shock to us. But like you'd been very open.
I've been talking about it
for years. So eventually it was like, oh, okay, it's finally happening. Yeah.
So yeah, like I might, like, again, I don't know what's going to happen, but like there's a chance I may end up living in Japan, and that really excites me because like my intention would then be to get like a 2-bed apartment so that like Roly could come and visit, and then we could do like the flip. And it's like, oh, I visit Brighton and it feels like my home, and you visit Japan and it feels like your home. That would be like so lovely. So we don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Like, that would be cool. Imagine I had a 2-bed apartment in Japan and you could just stay with both cats in a backpack.
With both
it's
cats,
Mr.
yeah, I'm
Gobbins.
I think traveling with 2 cats might be a bit of a logistical error, but you know.
And Mr. Gobbins can't speak Japanese, which is a big problem. Lingo can.
Lingo, yeah, lingo. Her 4 years before coming to me, she was fluent in Japanese.
Yeah, it's
Stupid. But yeah, so I think I mean, yeah, friendship-wise, nothing has really changed. I think I was never worried. I was never, except with the same with Luxaria, I was never worried when she moved to Spain that like our friendship was going to be like, again, might see them less, but I never worried that like our friendship was going to be hit a roadblock and suddenly we would stop talking. And like, yes, of course, we don't see them on each other's YouTube channel as often. And like, I will at some point get around to film with Luxaria again, and we'll do like an online gag of them London and stuff. Like, all that's still going to happen. Obviously, I'm not sure about her life and what she's done. That's for her to do. But she's moved around a little bit herself, so it's been a bit more tricky as well. But like,
we've all seen each other as well together.
Oh yeah.
The 3 of us were all in Brighton at the same time. Once like last summer, was it in the summer?
It was a bit, it was towards the end.
At some point. I've also been to see Luxaria in Spain, etc. So like Luxaria, and we already mentioned the group chat. Like that our like 3-way dynamic hasn't really changed that much either.
No, absolutely. I mean, again, I think also, if anything, like, I'm not saying we talk more because of course we live together, but like, I feel like sometimes like we talk. I think some of our conversations are even more intense now. I think because again, you have to make the effort. So like we have like long voice notes, long things. So yeah, anyone worried about what things happen? Because I've had multiple people as well being like, "Are you still friends with Luxaria and stuff?" And it's like.
It's like I've just sent her an 18-minute voice.
Yeah,
we're fine.
It's so strange how people sometimes. Well, I don't think they expect the worst, or they're just instantly thinking of the worst. But it's like, I don't know. They think I think sometimes they get so used to seeing someone together on the internet that they think as soon as you don't see it, there's been something bad happen. When in reality, it's just like, no, life changes sometimes.
And I think we're like a really good example of like modern day friendships. Like it's a very like 2025 friendship. Like. Everybody's a lot more fluid about where they are in the world. We're a lot more connected. We're all connected online. We're all like, it's a lot easier to travel and move around now, and like digital nomad visas, and like it's easier to go and live in different. Well, Brexit made some things more difficult, but like generally speaking, it's more difficult. It's more easy. It's easier to go live in other countries and things. I think like me, you, and Luxaria are really interesting, like case study almost of like what friendship means in 2025.
Yeah. Because as well, like I have my friends River and Aaron who live in Bournemouth. They're like 2.5 hours away from me by train. And
You've probably seen me more than them.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like ridiculous. It's I just think it's one of these things that I think unless you actually in that sort of relationship with someone, it's hard to understand. But like nothing's changed. Nothing in our dynamic has changed. And like even going further, like you think about my friends who I grew up with in school. Every single Thursday, my friend Daniel, I play video games with him and we play Xbox every single Thursday. We have a gaming session every night. And like I've known him since I was 10? And like some people in your life are genuinely just there forever. I'm going to Alton Towers with one of my the best friend of mine from high school, Hannah. We're going to Alton Towers in a couple of weeks. Like, it's just one of those things that sometimes you just have these people in your life who, no matter what happens, they will always be there. And I think I think sometimes when people get confused, I think that's just I'm not to patronize. It's a young person thing. I think when you get older, you definitely choose quality over quantity. When we think about our friendship group, when I first moved to London in our Stratford house, there was like 20 of us?
There was like 800 people in the house.
When we throw
a party, it would literally be like 100 people.
Yeah.
Insane.
And oh God, I speak to like maybe 3 of them now.
Yeah.
And one of them's in this room.
Yeah. And it's not like, it's nothing against any of those people. It's just like, you really do like double down on like who your most important people are. We went to see My Neighbor Totoro.
Oh my God. So last time Calum was here, so we missed the Spirited Away what's it called? Theatre show.
Stage show.
Stage show, that's what I was thinking. So essentially the Studio Ghibli film, My Neighbor Totoro came to London. Was it in Japan first? I'm assuming they did it and then it came over here.
I think it was the other way around. Again, don't quote me on this, but I think it opened in London and then it went in Japanese. Okay. Opened in London in Japanese, I think. And then it went to Japan And then they did a second run in
Okay.
London. But when we saw it, it was in English.
It was all in
'Cause
English,
We
yeah.
had spoken to people who had seen it before, and it was in Japanese. And I'd even seen like the subtitles above. They have like a little screen above the stage with subtitles before. But and it's possible on different nights they do it in English or Japanese.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. But when we saw it, it was
It was all in
all
English.
in English. Yeah,
But we went to go see, and oh my God, I cried like 5 times.
it was
It-
incredible.
Yeah, really, and like, because of course, when you think about using puppets and stuff, and how, because Totoro is obviously massive in scale, and in my mind, I was like, oh, they're going to have someone maybe sort of dressed up as him, and like, not, it was like, I'd still like it, but it would not be the fantasy.
Yeah.
But like, I don't. I think is I don't want to spoil too much, because I actually encourage people to go watch the screen. And like, I'll be honest, I'm not someone who likes this kind of stuff normally. I'm not someone who goes to
usually hates
theatre.
this kind
Yeah,
of stuff.
and like, yes, you can say, well, you like Totoro, but like, I'm still not someone who likes theatre. But the first time you see Totoro, I was like, I don't even know how to explain it. I like just wail. I just like wailed.
Honestly, same. It's like completely like takes your breath away.
Yeah.
The magic. Also, just when the stage opens at the beginning.
Yeah.
Because it's all closed when you go in and sit down, and you've just got the screen down. It
Like
just
the
says My
intros,
Neighbor
yeah.
Totoro at the front. But like, and when the stage opens up,
It was really
just
impressive.
magical. It's pure magic what they do with the stage, and like I'm not going to give anything away,
Yeah.
but like the lights, the puppetry, yeah.
But it was also, I found it really clever how they adapted 1 or 2 things to make it a stage show, because there are some things in the movie that couldn't really be done, like hence flying around, the city, or like the cat running along like the telephone wires. I really
Found ways to do it.
Yeah, and they also made like, even when like the dust sprites obviously go away from the house and stuff, what happens beforehand, the way that they did it, that interacts with the characters, rather than just, because in the actual film you see them they're in the bathtub and then they sort of just fly away, but they changed it to make it more immersive and make it look like they're interacting more with the girl and stuff. It was I really think it's clever how they adapted it to be a screenplay without like changing anything that makes it the story different.
Yeah, and I think as well, like, if I think of puppetry, there's 2 stage shows that spring to mind. Warhorse, which I've never seen, so I can't really comment on that, and Lion King. Like, everyone talks about Lion King. I don't know if you've seen like Lion King on the West End or Broadway or whatever, but I would always say the puppetry. Have you seen Lion King? Sorry. The puppetry in that is incredible, and it's very technical.
Yeah.
You've got lots of different animals and things. I think the puppetry in Totoro was even better,
Oh,
even
okay.
though it's technically simpler. I think there's magic in the simplicity, because like a dust mite is not a complicated puppet.
Yeah.
And yet, again, I'm not going to ruin anything, but what they do
Yeah.
to make that magic is a stroke of pure brilliance.
I really want to. So they did do a Spirited Away one, which we were talking about it ages ago. We just never got around to doing it. I would love if it ever came back. You have to come back to the UK.
We might be able to see it in Japan.
That's true. That's very, very true.
in Japan.
Yeah, I would. I'd love to see the Spirited Away version. If it was anything like that, like, because the characters in Spirited Away are also fantasy and very crazy looking.
And
so
the dragon.
the dragon, yeah, I would love to see that.
No Face, because like No Face gets really big as well, doesn't he? After he eats all the food.
Does that feel good?
Yeah. So yeah.
What else are we doing? What else have we done since we last saw us together? Oh my gosh. We're on a mission to try. This is very British. We're on a mission to find different fish and chip shops every single time Calum comes down. So we're on our 3rd one today. We're doing not today. No. We're on our 3rd fish and chip shop today.
Fish and chips of the day. The fish and chips pre-breakfast.
Pre-breakfast.
Fish and chips for breakfast. And now we have fish and chips for lunch. I think.
Yeah, we're doing Sally's. It was
Sally's.
It was Sally's, wasn't it?
Sally's fishy chips.
Ugh. Not fishy chips.
We're not doing fishy chips.
We'll go and walk down there soon. So I actually quite hungry. I also bought. Oh, so by the way, so one of the nice reasons Calum being here right now was because our birthdays.
Oh yeah,
Is essentially like 2 weeks apart.
Yeah.
And we're like identical ages, which I find crazy, especially as an adult. It's very difficult to meet someone who is like identical age to you, but also like
I'm
so close together.
Yeah, I'm 2 weeks older than you.
Yeah.
It's like, it's crazy.
Because even Luxaria, I mean, technically she's a year older, but her birthday's 2 weeks after mine. Like all 3 of us were like so close. But yeah, so
That old woman, Luxaria, lemon curd.
witch. She like we our birthdays are really close together, so it's nice to be able to spend this time together because of course it's like we've had our birthdays together.
Did you tell them how I did your birthday gift?
Oh, so he tricked me and he was like, I'm going down to the lanes to go buy a pride flag, and I was out for the day.
You're like, of course he is.
I was, yeah. But then he was like, when I came back, he was like talking to me. He was like, "Do you fancy some tea?" And I was like, "Yeah, do you want to go make it?" Because I was a bit hungover. And he was like, "Do you want to go make it?" And I was like, "No, you go make it."
Lazy bitch.
But he wouldn't go make it. And I was like, "What's he doing?" Yeah, and I opened the cupboard and there was like a birthday tea from the
Birthday cake tea.
birthday cake flavored tea and a sleeping Charmander plush, which is
Hidden
pretty sweet,
behind the tea.
which I thought was very cute.
Yeah.
And I haven't got him a present because I can't buy him anything because he doesn't want anything.
I don't want. Yeah, I don't have any room in my bag. Is like this big, so like that's my whole life in there.
Yeah, Calum, I've always said to Calum this whole time I've known him, he's so difficult to buy presents for because he just doesn't like, he's not materialistic. He's the least materialistic person ever. Whereas me, just buy me some like Pokemon tat or like Simpsons things, I'll go crazy for it. Calum is so hard to buy for.
Though you bought me amazing gifts before, like a PS5.
Yeah, that was true. I bought him a PlayStation. And now it's mine, essentially.
Yes, it's now essentially yours. Yeah.
I don't even like PlayStation.
But we get to play it when I'm here.
That's true, yeah. We do play Fortnite together, which is nice. We have a nice little catch up. We watched some like weird documentaries and stuff. I should have maybe requested questions or something from the people about what they want to know.
Next time, we're never going to stop updating you on our.
No, that's true. Like, we are main characters.
So many like updates of like different things over the years. It's like so interesting. Like you're watching us age. You're watching our slow march to the grave.
Well, the thing is, well, oh my God, it's officially been 10 years now since we made our first video together.
Since we made our first video, is it
Yeah.
really? So yeah, we've literally documented our like friendship over the past 10 years. And that's based that video we made is like the beginning of our friendship because we didn't know each other really.
No, because you just approached me and was just like, do you want to make a video together?
Meeting. Like we had met briefly, but that was essentially us meeting.
Yeah.
That video. You'll see
Yeah.
it on camera. To now, and I'm sure we're going to continue updating. Like maybe you'll get a video of us on the sofa in my Japanese apartment.
Yeah.
I really like. I was planning to like talk about this on my Instagram and do like a whole thing, but like, did you get top exclusive information here on Roly West?
This is extra Roly.
Extra Roly.
And you know, this channel had so many different names because I never knew what to do with it. First, it was like, I think it was like more
Roly
it was like Roly vlogs, then it was like more Roly, and then it was like Roly games, and then it was like Roly outtakes. That I've had because I've had this.
Identity crisis.
I made this channel in 2012, so that was when like everybody had like second channels for like vlogging. It was like your main channel, but my main channel was vlogging, so my extra channel was just like.
Vlog.
Hello! Yeah, I don't know what I was doing with it. And then I wanted to make it a gaming channel, and then it was like just like random, stupid. I've had so many different names, but extra Roly is what I've settled on now. And because my main channel is so established, just like this really heavily like edited like bonkersness, I'm trying my hardest to use this as like the most unedited.
I'm going to say some swear words, so you have to edit it.
Well, I have to edit
Bitch.
something anyway, just to keep it
Piss.
concise. But
Frig.
did you just say the N word?
I did not. He's going to blow my mouth.
I'll use
not.
well, AI is so good now. I'll put a
freak.
deep fake your mouth and be like, Calum is Caitlin Bennett. Oh my God.
I said frig. I promise.
Frig.
Frig.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh,
Christ.
fiddlesticks.
Ow.
Goody gumdrops.
Shiver me. Oh, yeah.
Really said goody gumdrops to the man doing his decking, and he was like, "Pardon."
I was like, what are you talking?
What did you just say?
I actually have a man. So my birthday's on June the 5th. I'm not sure what. Again, I'm not sure if this video will be up just before or after my birthday. But I have a man coming over to like drill in like shelves.
Drill him. He's got man.
Yeah,
birthday to drill his butt.
No, I don't think the DIY man's the fantasy. To be honest, for me personally, I'm more. What? I don't. What is your fantasy when it comes to that?
What, my fantasy when it comes to men?
Not necessarily like workmen or something. Like to me, the DIY man's not the fan. That's not what I fantasize about. If I'm like, oh, no, I think me it's more like a police officer.
Oh, no, Calum.
And what? Obviously, but there's something.
Obviously.
But if it's like a
Firefighter.
fantasy,
I'm dating a firefighter.
oh, you are.
Yes.
Well, not anymore.
Yeah. Kind of.
He's not a firefighter anymore, is he?
Oh, yeah.
He was disbarred. But no, so what was I? Oh yeah, I have a man coming to like put shelves up all of my house and stuff. So I finally be able to get like my bedroom looking like a bedroom and stuff. But I treated myself for my birthday for like a little electric barbecue. Because in our old apartment, in like the center, the mezzanine bit, they had like these electric barbecues that we used to use all the time. And I've always wanted one because I was like, it's a barbecue that I can use because it doesn't involve.
But it's got smoky wood chips.
It's got a little smoky wood chip and I don't have to worry about putting coal and stuff. So we had a nice little barbecue yesterday. It was like, oh my God, we're feeling the fantasy.
We made chips and we grilled some cod and some squid, didn't we?
Well, Callum's sober, but clearly he's been taking MDMA.
I'm almost sober for 2 years. 2 years in July, I'll be sober.
What was that voice?
I just can't believe it. Can't believe it's almost been 2 years.
Yeah.
Well, meanwhile, this alky over here can't get the WKDs out of
no, Jesus Christ. I don't know what happened the other day. So I went to a party. WKD!
I didn't think you were going to disclose this.
No, I don't care. I don't care. So I went to a trance party on the weekend, and I don't know how. And I have been very good since becoming maybe in my sort of like 30s, I would say. I really know my limit when it comes to alcohol, and like I don't really drink anyway. It's very rare for me to really drink alcohol anyway because I just don't really need it. But sometimes I like a cocktail. I won't lie. I love a pina colada. I love a cornstarch martini. Like I love all this stuff. But I don't know what happened on Saturday. I got so shit-faced, and I have not been that drunk. I think the last time I said to Calum, I was like, in 2016 time, we went to an ex-friend of ours' house, and I was so drunk that evening that Calum couldn't even take me home. He was like, you just have to stay here. Do you remember? I was so drunk.
Yeah. And
like, that was when I was 25. So it's not in your 20s. That's when you learn your limits. Fine. But like, I got so drunk on the weekend, and I have absolutely no idea how it happened because I don't feel like I drank any more than I normally would. But for some reason, I was so bladdered. I was like sick in the toilets. I like passed out on the toilet in the club, woke up sort of like a bit dazed, and I had to get help getting home with my friend.
I had to come collect you from the train station at midnight. Like, I walk to the train station, and I see this like, you happy idiot getting off the train. La, 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 la.
I genuinely have no idea how that happened, and it's wild because it kind of scared me a little bit because I was like, what happened? And like I sort of fantasized, but had a wild thing. Was I spiked as you always do when you get too drunk? No, I just think I drank too much. But like, I don't know how.
Sometimes it just creeps up on you though. Like alcohol is weird. Like I think people always say like, oh, I'm a heavyweight, I'm a lightweight, and I don't think any of that is really true because like I am both of those things. Sometimes 2 drinks and I'm wasted. Other times I'm like a bottomless pit and it doesn't touch the sides.
Bottom.
Like it really depends on like what you eat and there's all kinds of factors. Also, have you been drinking much recently? I think if I had a drink now after being sober for 2 years, I think I'd be probably get drunk really quickly. So like this idea of heavyweight and lightweight and like, oh, I know my limits. I know I can only have like 5 drinks on a night out. I don't really think that's a thing.
Yeah.
You can have a rough estimate.
Like I think obviously people's like body size could also play a part. If you're naturally like huge or something, like you might take a bit more than someone who's like a little petite woman. But you know, I got so drunk. And even now I'm like, I don't know how that happened. No idea. Because I've not been that drunk in like a decade, which is insane. And that kind of scared me a little bit.
I don't miss getting drunk at all. Like I really thought I would miss it giving it up.
Yeah.
Like I don't miss it at all. Like people say like, oh, because I decided to be sober for like no real reason. I just fancied the lifestyle change.
That's healthier.
So like if I decide I want to go back to it, I obviously can. There's no issue there. But like people often ask me like, do you fancy it? Like, do you fancy like finishing your sobriety now? And I'm like, I actually don't. Like there's not even a temptation for me. Like if somebody like cracks open a bottle of wine or offers me a cocktail or whatever, I'm just like, not really interested. I do love a margarita. So like if people are around me having margaritas, I'm like, oh, could do with a margarita, but that's for the taste.
But surely there's virgin ones.
Yeah, and I have had a few good virgin margaritas. There are some like good. There's like a tequila called Ritual Tequila, and like if you make a proper margarita with that, it's excellent.
Okay,
but you need a bartender who can properly make a good margarita. But like it's really rare to find that, so it's like it's hard. I've asked for like, I remember when I was in Mexico, I kept asking for like virgin margaritas, and like sobriety isn't really a thing in Mexico. I'm generalizing, but honestly, everyone was like, why would you want that? And they were like the worst drinks I've ever had in my life. So like it's hard to get a good virgin margarita, but like that was my drink of choice. So like, yeah, but like generally I miss that for the flavor and the taste. I don't miss the feeling of being drunk.
Yeah, I mean, one of the main reasons why I never really, my mum was an alky and all that shit, so I was never a huge drinker. But my biggest thing in recent years to not want to drink is I get 2-day hangovers. It's just not worth it.
The last hangover I had, July 2 years ago, lasted for 3 days, and it was a big part of the reason I was like, you know what, I'm done.
It's not worth it.
I was busy. I had deadlines for my book, and I was like, I now don't have the energy to do any work because I'm so hungover. And I was
Yeah.
like, what for? Like, what for? Like, was it even that good? What, like, was being drunk that amazing? And I was like, no, it wasn't.
I think for me, most time as well, is even just having that little tiny buzz is enough. I don't need to get drunk. Like, just to have, sometimes you have a one or two and you can kind of feel it in your system, and it just sort of,
That's enough.
in like a party environment, like I'm obviously not saying you have to have to drink to feel confident at parties, but like it does add like a slight kind of like looseness to it. Like, oh, I'm dancing a bit more freely. Like some people, I like that feeling. I don't feel like I need it, but I do like that feeling. So like, I'd rather just stay in that zone rather than getting drunk.
I've found as well that like that was a big part, like as a solo traveler, like going all over the world, like it's really difficult sometimes going into like a gay bar or a queer space by myself, going in and trying to make friends sober. That can be quite challenging. And like, I don't miss the alcohol, but sometimes I think, oh, would be just a bit easier to give me that confidence if I had a drink or two. But what I found is it's teaching me to be more confident.
Yeah.
It's teaching me to learn to have the confidence to go into a space and make friends and approach people and start conversations without the need for the alcohol. So it's almost like a learning experience for me,
Yeah.
which I value so much more, rather than relying on the alcohol before. Like, because I would always be like, oh, before I go out, or have a bunch of pre-drinks in my hotel before I go out. So I'm a little bit loose by the time I get there. And now I have to find, it's all within ourselves. At the end of the day, it's all within ourselves. You're the same person with or without the alcohol. It's just you've got to get past those psychological barriers. that
No,
we
I
put
agree.
up.
I agree. And I'm going to a Kevin and Perry throwback event this weekend.
That's going to be great.
It's technically my birthday party. I'm going to Ministry of Sound. I'm going to a Kevin and Perry throwback. People don't know I love trance music, so yeah, I'm excited.
People even know what Kevin and Perry is anymore. Like, do you have a lot of Gen Z followers? I bet Gen Z won't know what.
I don't. Do you know? Ever since doing tattoo content, my audience has gotten older. So I think there will be a lot of people who know what Kevin and Perry is. Absolutely, because I've used lots of Kevin and Perry clips in my videos, like cutaways, and I've had a lot of people being like, "Oh, I love it, Eiffel Pork being your twat." So
I do like Kathy Burke. Is that her name? Kathy Burke. I do like her.
she's an ally.
Really good. Yeah, she's excellent. Yeah, her co-star in Gimme 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 though.
Oh, I can't believe the amount of these absolute like gay people that were in like the 80s
Much older gay men.
who are just like really like anti-trans these days. It's bizarre.
Like,
And it's not uncommon.
like pulling the ladder up behind them.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, we've got our rights now, trans people. Awful, 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 awful.
Anyway,
Anyway.
that's a completely different.
We spoke about like trans rights. We spoke about like sobriety. We've been on quite the journey.
I am so interested actually to hear what this audio is like, because obviously I don't normally film on this sofa,
Unusable.
and I've had to like I've had to pull all of my stuff kind of on the side. The light's a bit weird, so I hope the audio on this is okay. If not, I'll have to use the camera audio. I'll try to fix it, but I think
You don't mind. You don't mind, do you? Dislike this video if you don't mind.
Is there dislike still a thing?
yeah, but I mean they hide them now. But you have I have a tool on my thing that shows you how many dislikes things have.
It's all engagement, right?
Oh, it still works. Thumbs up or thumbs down. Engagement is engagement. This is what I find about haters. They don't realize
Can
that
you
like
both? Can you press them? Can you do both?
no,
Uh-huh.
you have to pick one or the other.
Make
But
a choice.
That's the best thing about haters. They don't realize that like, regardless of if they're liking, disliking, or commenting, even if it's hate, it's still engagement that helps the person.
My most viewed video on Instagram has 12 million views. It has 20,000 comments and most of them are hate comments. And it's like, that's why it has 12 million views. And I've gained so many followers, etc. off that video. It's because of all of that hate.
Yeah, because they're just loud.
Thing. I often, when people like leave homophobic comments, I'm like, oh, thanks for supporting my content, because that is what they're doing.
Yeah,
ultimately.
absolutely. Anyway,
Let's not read around the bush.
I am.
Jesus loves a good peach. Squat for Jesus.
But I don't do that on this channel. This is just more of a like, bye, goodbye, die.
Okay.
I'm so hungry. I need to eat something because I feel a bit sick. I'm so hungry.
And one tea.
Are you hungry for Sally's or not yet?
Not yet. Can we have a tea?
We can have tea.
We should have a no caffeine one, and then we have a caffeine one a bit later.
I think caffeine's probably better now.
Let's have a caffeine tea.
This is, if you want to know what our friendship is, it's this.
It's just
Just two old women talking about tea.
no, because the thing. No, can I say one thing though? Because when I first moved to London, you'd never drunk tea. You never
And I
drank it.
don't drink tea unless I'm with you. In my mind, it's like a thing to do with Roly. It's like, you know how I love pick and mix?
Yeah.
I do not get pick and mix without you. Like ever. Even in like Finland and Sweden, where they have like if you've ever been to Finland or Sweden, their pick and mix is like next level. Like incredible.
I don't think I ever saw Pigments when I was in both those places.
Oh, we were very busy in Espresso House.
We were Espresso House is good.
Best coffee shop chain in the world.
When I was in Sweden, it was like a cinnamon bun cheesecake thing.
Outrageous.
It's just a shame that one thing we talk about Japan being more affordable. Scandinavia is not affordable.
Affordable though. If you've been recently, it's like on par with London now.
Is it?
Yeah, it used to feel so expensive going there, and now it's like, oh, these are just like London prices.
Okay.
That's how I know it's gotten so expensive in London, because when I go there now, I'm like, oh, it's just the same.
Okay.
It doesn't feel expensive anymore.
Jesus Christ. Anyway, we keep saying we're going to go. Thanks for watching. Make sure the like button. As always, all of our social media links are down below. Come give us a follow, and I'll see you soon on my channel very, very soon, the Stecker channel, for a nice little update vlog and everything. And of course, whenever Calum is next here, I will obviously make a little video with him. And yeah, who knows what the next update will bring? Maybe he'll have a baby.
Jesus loves a good peach.